as we see, the creation of union territories post-independence, you have on the one hand examples like Chandigarh, which was carved out during the Punjab Reorganization Act and remained a union territory. It is a permanent union territory.
It was a part of state.
It was a part of a state and became a union territory to be the common capital for two sister states. That one. Then you have a progression where certain areas of existing states became union territories in the progression of making them states. That's the Northeast. For instance, you have Mizoram, you have Manipur, you have Tripura. They were part of states. They become union territories, but that's in the process of making them into a stable administration to become states. You can't immediately make them states. Parliament can certainly make that. Today, the situation is not right to make them full-fledged states. Today, we will carve them out, give them the status of a union territory at a future point of time when Parliament feels that, well, they now are sufficiently stable institutionally, we will make them as states, which we did in the Northeast. To put something, perhaps you may look at what we are trying to suggest. Why is it not possible for the union to say that, well, right now, say in a case of a particular state, we have such an extreme situation in terms of national security, in terms of, other...
we want direct control.
That we want for a certain stipulated period that a union territory should be created. But this creation of a union territory is not a feature of permanence. But this shall then again progress back to its position of a state.
Removing the reasons why it was required to be converted.
The union not have a control for a certain stipulated period to bring stability, because ultimately, let's face it, whether it's a state, whether it's a union territory, all of us have survived, the nation survives.
Yes.
Right?
Doubtlessly.
If the nation itself doesn't survive, there's no question, there's no relevance of states or union territories. So is it not should we not give that allowance to Parliament to sort of postulate that for a certain period, in the interest of the preservation of the nation itself, in the interest of the preservation of the union itself, we want for a certain stipulated period that this particular state should go into the fold of union territory on the clear understanding that this shall revert to a position of a state over a period of time. You can't lay down that period in a given case. In a given case, it may be 6 months. In a given case, it may be 1 year. But that progression, I think the government has to also make a statement before us.
Lord,
that progression back to a state has to take place. It can't be a union territory in permanence.
I'm grateful, my lord. That's exactly, I'll read, my lord, after the lunch. That's exactly the statement made on the floor of the House. I'll read, my lord, that statement. That this is not a permanent feature. After the situation returns to normalcy, we want it to become a state again. I'll read, my lord, that statement.
And then after lunch, we would also have, we don't want to bind you down to because we are conscious of the fact that these are matters of national security. We understand that, ultimately the preservation of the nation itself is the overriding concern. But without putting you in a sense of a bind, both you and attorney may seek instructions at the highest level. Is there some time frame in view?
Time frame. I'll take instructions once followed from your lordships, but I'll show the statement made on the floor and the efforts made. And the statement is, once the efforts are fruitful and everything is normal, then, my lord, there is a. But I'll
equally, Mr. Solicitor and Mr. Attorney, restoration of democracy is a very important.
Absolutely,
it's a vital component for our nation.
In 2020,
we can't have a situation where you have.
But not only one thing, but give me a second more. In 2020, for the first time in the history, the local government elections took place. 34,000 people are now elected people, which is possible only because of.
Therefore, the progression, we take your point. We take your point that the progression has already begun.
Yes, madam. No hartal, no stone pelting, no curfew.
At least situation is normal, madam.
But
no, I am not only on, my lord, election and politics. I am on, my lord, national integrity.
Is there a roadmap?
Yes, yes, it is.
And tell us what the roadmap is.
Lord, I have taken instructions, my lord. Hurry. Lord, the instructions are that UT is not a permanent feature. But I'll make a positive statement, my lord, tomorrow, that is day after. Because I'll have to meet, my lord.
For Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir,
Yes. Yes, my lord, not
not Ladakh.
Ladakh. Ladakh would remain UT, my lord. That's what we have understood, my lord. But we'll meet personally, my lord, Learned AG and me, and we will make a statement.